What's good YouTube, Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to share just some random sales with you guys. As you guys know, on this channel I'm really focusing on shoes, but I still go thrifting every once in a while to pick up any random hard goods, electronics, and just anything that has some decent value, especially if I can get it for a really good deal. So in this video I'm not going to share any clothing, I'm not going to share any sneakers, just a bunch of random hard goods that I've sold over the past couple of months that I think some of you guys might actually benefit from learning. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so first up we got some AT&T cordless handsets, and I usually always go to the thrift, and this is one of the first things I try to find. I usually gear towards like Panasonic, AT&T, Uniden I usually don't pick those up because the value really isn't that high. VTech I kind of don't pick those up either, but AT&T, Panasonic phones, there might be some others that I'm forgetting about, but these type of phones always sell for some decent money. I picked up this whole bundle for I think $4.99, and this one sold for 50 bucks. So really good profit margins on these phones. They usually sell within maybe a month, sometimes 2 months, depending on the the model number of the phones, but usually I always get some decent profit on those. Next up we got a classic video game for Nintendo Game Boy, and this is actually called Ninja Shadow Gaiden. I remember picking this one up, and of course not knowing too much about the game, but I just did a quick eBay search just to check the comps, and these were selling for as high as like 50 to 60 bucks. The ones that were selling for like 60 and 70, actual label on the cartridge was just in pristine condition, and collectors and people that really enjoy collecting video games and stuff, all those details matter. So for me, I just priced mine at 50 bucks, and I had this sitting for just about 2 months before it finally did sell. But like I said, I picked this up for maybe $2 or $3 and it sold for 50 bucks. So once again, really good margins on stuff like this. Next up we got this old school CD player, and the funny thing is with this one, I actually have some CDs in my car as well, and I tested it and it worked perfectly fine. But in my opinion, it's just always crazy to think that people are still so interested in some of these older forms of like older media and just older electronics and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's a market for all of these type of things, and that's why I really like selling on eBay. And this one I picked up for I think $1.99 from a thrift store. It said sold as is, so they probably didn't even test it. I just simply popped in some batteries in there, put a CD, and it played perfectly. So definitely be on the lookout for some of these Panasonic CD players, especially if they have like some type of anti-skip system to them, because a lot of people still clearly use these types of things, and a lot of people will just walk right by it thinking that it's not valuable. But trust me, I sell stuff like this all the time, and it's usually some really good margins because thrift stores price it pretty cheap most of the time. Next up we got Guitar Hero 1, 2, and 3 for the PlayStation 2, and Guitar Hero is super popular. Usually we'll try to just sell either the guitars or like some of the other accessories, but if I can find the games don't usually sell for a ton of profit. But in this particular case, I picked up all 3 of these $1 a piece, and I just bundled them all together for $24.99, and even though I had 3 discs, they were still able to ship out first class, so I was good with that. But this particular game sold really quickly, I think within about 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure because a lot of people are still locked down, they're still at home, I think video games, the market is still really high on this. So if you guys do go to some of these thrift stores or garage sales or wherever you guys like to source, and you come across some really dope games, definitely still pick it up, bundle them together, and you can make some decent profit. Alright y'all, just some quick housekeeping things really quickly. I'm going to be going live today at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time like I usually do. So if you guys want to, make sure you guys come prepared with your entrepreneur or reseller questions, and I'll be there for about an hour and a half. Also, I just dropped a video yesterday with Fresh Clean Teas announcing that giveaway that I'm going to be doing, where you guys can win a year's supply of Fresh Clean Teas. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you head over to that video, check it out, and enter the giveaway. And last but certainly not least, the consistency tees are back in stock. I got some in white and I also have some in black. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you head over to the website. I'll make sure that's the first link in the description. So without further ado, let's get back into the video. Next up, something super random. As you guys know, I'm always talking about working out and exercising and just staying in shape because I think it's super important for entrepreneurs and just everyone in general. So if you guys are interested in more like workout videos and stuff like that, let me know and I'll try to incorporate them in some of my vlogs some way, somehow. But like I said, I found this in the thrift for I think $2.99, and this is actually a neck harness. And usually people that fight like boxers or MMA fighters, they usually would want to make sure that they have like a strong, sturdy neck. So something like this would definitely just help build up those neck muscles. And at first I was kind of on the fence if I should even pick it up, but like I said, it was super cheap and I knew it would sell pretty quickly because I think I was only 1 or 2 people that had it listed, and it sold a couple times prior to me picking it up. So I figured I might as well take a chance on it, and it sold within about 3 or 4 days of listing it for 20 bucks. So not a ton of profit here. I probably could have listed it a little more expensive, but this is just a quick tip to let you guys know workout equipment right now in particular is still selling like crazy. A lot of gyms are closed. Thankfully the gyms in Arizona open back up, so I'll be able to, you know, go back to the gym, but a ton of places are just completely closed. So if you guys can find home workout equipment, definitely pick those up and try to flip them on eBay. Next up, we got this Apple Magic wireless keyboard, and these keyboards always sell super quick for me, anywhere between like 40 or 50 bucks depending on the condition and the actual model of the keyboard. This one, I tested it out, it worked perfectly. I just cleaned it up a little bit with some rubbing alcohol to make sure that the keys were really clean and nice, and this one sold within a matter of just like 2 or 3 hours of me listing it. So that was a super quick sale. Probably should have priced it a little higher, so definitely be on the lookout for these, but make sure you're pricing it just a little bit higher than I did, because like I said, I probably could have priced it for maybe 45 or 50 bucks and would have made even more money, because usually anytime an item sells this fast, that usually just means I priced it a little too low. Next up, something super random that most people wouldn't even think to look at is just this adapter that I picked up from the thrift. I think this one was 79 cents, and this is actually for the original Nintendo. Now, Super Nintendo, the original Nintendo, those adapters usually do die out after a while, but the system itself would still be in good shape, and that's why people are always still trying to pick up some of these adapters. And this one sold for 25 bucks. So like I said, I picked it up for 79 cents, sold it for 25. Not a huge amount of profit, but for me, those are the type of margins I'm always trying to aim for when I'm picking up stuff from the thrift store. Next up, something super random is this telescope that I picked up from a garage sale. I had this sitting around for a very long time, and it was just kind of taking up a bunch of space. So when I finally did take this out, I cleaned it up. It took me maybe 45 minutes to actually clean this up and get it prepped and ready, just to realize that it wasn't working. So I listed it for $79.99. If this was in perfect working condition, I probably could have got maybe 100, maybe 200 bucks, but I just listed it moderately, and I ended up shipping this out via FedEx, because I usually ship out big bulky items via pirate ship, but this was a little too big to ship via pirate ship. So I shipped this out via FedEx, and I think it cost maybe $9 or $10 to ship this out, which was definitely a surprise, but thankfully the person was on the West Coast, so it didn't cost me too much money. But overall, really good deal. I was just glad I was able to just get this out the house. But telescopes and stuff like that, I usually would probably tell people to ship this out, to kind of sell this locally just to avoid the cost of shipping. For me, I lucked out since it was on the West Coast. But at the end of the day, if you guys can come across some of these telescopes and stuff like that, you definitely want to get it sold as fast as possible, because it takes up a ton of space. Next up is this 100 pack of CDs, and I usually always pick up blank media if I can find it, especially if it's brand new and sealed. These usually do sell pretty quickly on eBay. I think on Amazon you can probably get a little more money for it, but on eBay they do sell for a decent amount of money as well. And I think this was only $1.99 from a thrift store, so I was able to put this in a padded flat rate envelope. Still wrapped it up in some more bubble wrap just to make sure that it shipped out safely. But overall, since it was able to go in that padded flat rate bag, it didn't kill me in terms of shipping. But overall, still a really good flip, and some more stuff that you guys should be on the lookout for. Next up is the Big Berkey water system, and I think I shared this in a previous What Sold video in the past, but the Big Berkey is definitely something to be on the lookout for. When I was living in California, I knew at that time stuff like this was super popular, and I didn't actually have the filters or the nozzle or anything like that. I really just had the empty cans, what you use for the filter system, but it still had a ton of value. Now if I actually had all the additional attachments and extra pieces, I probably could have got maybe 200 bucks for this, but like I said, I didn't have anything like that, and I was still able to get some decent profit on this. And I don't remember how much I spent, maybe 10 bucks, maybe 12, nothing more than 20 bucks for this, absolutely, not even more than 15 bucks for this. But stuff like this, definitely be on the lookout for. I still like selling a lot of random stuff that has some good margins, even though I'm really focusing on shoes. I just know it's still a ton of other opportunities out there, especially if you go to garage sales, flea markets, thrift stores, anywhere where you can get a good deal. I'm still trying to make sure that I put myself in those situations. Alright y'all, that's all I got for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also tune into the live show later on today at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's where I'll be answering any reseller or entrepreneur questions that you guys may have. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
We're the winner. offered it. I'm